Cork's Red FM.
People know that are close to the camp know exactly the character that these fellas have, and they expressed that in no small way last Sunday. It was difficult. Dublin are a very good side. They'd improved during the year, but I felt, maybe 20 minutes ago when we did get the goal, when Donegal scored the penalty, that from there on I felt confident that we would take them.
Yeah, I know you've got another All-Ireland final to look forward to now, Ger, but would it be fair to say that maybe you're in the final this year without having played to your full potential yet?
Yeah, well, the way we look at it is that we have things to work on and we have improvements to make all over the field, but I think there are improvements in general play. But what we spoke about already, the character and also the experience is huge. That was our sixth semi-final in a row. This is going to be our third All-Ireland final in 4 years. So you can't buy that, and we think that will stand to us. We acknowledge, all right, we have to make improvements around the field, but everything else is okay.
Yeah, and I suppose it's a good way to be going into a final as well, knowing that there's a lot to work on, because I suppose, as you mentioned there, Ger, it's your third All-Ireland final in 4 years. If you go back to last year, the semi-final against Tyrone, it was a very emphatic Cork performance and everybody was building you up going into the final. Maybe not as similar 2 years ago, but it was still a very big win over Meath in that semi-final. So it's probably nice to be going into a final with plenty to work on.
Yeah, and we have 4 weeks, well, I suppose 3 weeks now, because it's different to last year. Last year we played very well against Tyrone in the semi-final, and we were favourites going into the final. I think we'll be favourites probably again this year because of our success over the last number of years. But no, we will be back in the training ground next week now, and we'll work on the things that we need to work on, and we'll hopefully be ready on the 19th.
Yeah, now, Ger, how important has the panel been in the past couple of games? Because we saw last Sunday the likes of Colm O'Neill and Nicholas Murphy coming on and making a huge impact, and it was the same scenario as well against Roscommon. It seems to give the team a fresh impetus when you can bring in top quality players like that.
Well, I suppose a lot of that credit goes down to Conor and his management skills, and he impresses on all the players to give it 100% from the word go. And when guys tire or get injured, we can pull them off and put on fresh players. And we had that last Sunday. I know that Graham and Kieran went into the game with very little match experience over the previous 4 to 3 weeks, and they gave it 100%. And they were able to come off, and we had Graham, the fresh players. Also, Alan O'Connor and Johnny Miskell and Nolly picked up an injury, Nolly O'Leary. But as you say, that when you can bring on the likes of Owen Cadigan and Nicholas and Colm O'Neill, and also then for the last period of time then Fintan Gould and Derek Kavanagh, it gives confidence to the players inside that we have strong substitutes, and it gives us confidence in the line. And I suppose we don't have to panic, because we know we have this experience on the line, and their experience and their work rate is excellent.
Yeah, now, Ger, as we mentioned already, the players have obviously got plenty of experience of All-Ireland final day at this stage. How much will that help you the next day, and will you be doing anything differently maybe this year based on past experience? No, very little. The only thing is that there are a lot of side shows in relation to All-Ireland finals, but the experience that we've had now over the last 3 years will stand us, and I think it's just another big occasion in Croke Park. As you say, the All-Ireland final last year will stand us. The league final earlier this year, when we put on a very good performance. But I would say that Croke Park now is probably the favourite playing ground for all of our players, and they look forward to it. One thing we wouldn't want to forget is the contribution and the value of our support. I would say maybe we had 20,000-25,000 people there, Cork supporters there last Sunday, but it felt as if we had about 50,000 supporters, and we'd like to acknowledge that, and hopefully these people will be able to get tickets for the All-Ireland, because it's so disappointing down to the years when you have great supporters who will support through the league and the earlier round of the championship, and then you get to an All-Ireland final and these people struggle, but hopefully they'll find tickets somewhere. They're tremendous, and when you hear stories relayed back to you about people that went to Thurles on the Saturday night when Cork played Watford, stayed overnight in Thurles and moved down to Wexford the following day to support Cork footballers, and the cost, I've seen there, we know it quite well from the expense on the team, but the expense on individuals going to matches, getting the train tickets, getting the match tickets, having their bite to eat and their few drinks in Dublin, it's very easy for a family to use up €500 over a weekend. Absolutely. Yeah, no, we heard earlier this week as well, Ger, from Dr. Con Murphy that Graham Canty should be okay for the final. You're confident enough that Graham's injury will be okay by then?
We are, yes. Graham, he went into the game last Sunday. Okay, he felt he was fine, but at halftime he said just that he felt some tweak, and there was no point in staying on, and Graham made that call himself, and that's the value of an experienced captain, and he just stepped out, and Owen Cadigan stepped in. But I hope now that over the next 10 days, fortnight, that Graham will get the treatment that's needed, and then he'll get a fortnight back playing in Cork, training with the boys and get used to the match practice.
Yeah, no, Ger, just want to ask you as well about a player who hasn't been involved yet this year due to injury, and I know he'd love to be involved on the 19th because he's been involved in 3 losing All-Ireland finals, and that's Anthony Lynch. What's the update on Anthony? Is there any hope of him being involved?
Well, actually, Anthony has a groin injury that has kept him out through the year, but he has been constantly getting treatment on this, and he was recovering very, very well. But then in training last week, he trained on the Tuesday night, but on the Thursday night he tore a hamstring again, some kind of a hamstring injury was similar to Graham's, and that has set him back. But he was showing form that he showed down to the years, and we would love to have Anthony involved. But he is involved in the backroom team. He's there on the line with us, and all Anthony wants now is for Cork to win All Ireland. That's his main focus, and that's his main wish. Now, we'd love to have him involved, and we'd love to have him as part of the panel, but he'll be there with us on the day regardless. Yeah,
no, just want to ask you as well, Ger, about Aidan Walsh. I mean, 20 years of age and playing a huge part in bringing a team to an All-Ireland final. I know we don't want to be singling out anybody here, but at times on Sunday maybe he made 1 or 2 bad decisions, but probably down to inexperience. But you must be very, very pleased with Aidan Walsh this year because he's turning into a top-class player.
Well, I think that's what youth brings, and Conor hasn't been slow in bringing on some young players this year and giving them experience. Aidan is tremendous. The character of that young fella to kick 2 very poor wides early on in the game, and when he got the chance then for the third one, he wasn't going to pull back, and he'll give it 100%. And in the Roscommon game, Aidan gave it 100% for the first half, and we pulled him off and brought on Nicholas for the second half. But that's what it's all about. Whether you're young or old, you're expected to put your shoulder to the wheel and give it 100%. And if you have to be pulled off or taken off, just step aside and let someone else come on and do the job then.
Yeah, no, going on your experience at this stage of the championship in recent years, Ger, you're going to go into the All-Ireland final as favourites, but I'd imagine that's not something that'll bother the Cork players because they're used to that at this stage. No, because, as I said in the past, favourites mainly has to do with those who back and have blown a few bobbling games, but we've been there in the past. It's just another game for us. We know we've 70 minutes and we want to win All Ireland. It's 20 years since Cork won All Ireland, and we've been leaving no stone unturned, and whether we win as favourites or underdogs doesn't matter. We just have to have a performance on the day that's good enough to win, and hopefully we can bring Sam back to the lead.
Cork's Red FM.